Jonathan, old chap, how are you tonight? I've seen little of you of late.
I was conducting research in my room, away from the nightly routines.
Of course, of course. Worry not, I understand. The situation has been testy around here. I won't deny it, but we still stand.
What news do you bring?
The news is not good, my friend. We try to keep the epidemic at bay, but street violence is escalating quickly.
How bad is the epidemic?
It is killing the infected patients faster, in less than 2 days now. The only blessing is that they are contagious for a shorter period.
Tell me more about the violence.
Jeffrey McCallum seems to have sent his war dogs on a hunt. On a nightly basis, Pre-Wen patrols exterminate every skull and vampire they find.
Have they come closer to the hospital?
No. They mainly focus on fallen districts or abandoned buildings. But they're growing in numbers. They must be recruiting heavily.
I have received an alarming letter from Lady Ashbury. She wants me to meet her at her house. I have been granted safe passage.
Then you are twice fortunate. I have never been invited to the lady's mansion. And with the quarantine and controls, city access is nigh impossible.
Is the quarantine serving any purpose?
It is helping slow the propagation of the epidemic. But as long as we have no clue to its origin, its efficiency is limited.
Why have you never entered the lady's house? You are one of her good friends, are you not?
My dear Jonathan, you have no idea how reclusive the good lady normally is, nor in what great esteem she must hold you to let you into her domain.
Have you any reliable friends in the West End who might assist me?
Unfortunately, you will be alone. Except for our ravishing red-headed acquaintance, of course.
What about the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole? Where are they?
There are only a few of us, and most others would not speak to you. I am the black sheep of our brotherly flock, you know.
What of my commission here at Pembroke Hospital?
Nothing to fear, Jonathan. Your position here is in no jeopardy. You remain one of us, and you are always most welcome.
Thank you, Edgar. We shall speak again later. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reid.
Not under my watch, Nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reid.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Circumstances, how can we be sure we're making a difference?
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I'd like to see...
Wise choice, Dr. Reid. It's safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
Still alive and healthy.
I cannot enter.
I have not survived being buried in a mass grave for these trivialities. We are not in the middle of a battlefield anymore.
Things are different here. So many ways.
Hello again, Mr.
Good evening, Doctor.
Are you concerned about the living conditions in the city?
Of course I am. I'll be stuck here for as long as Oswald refuses to go to hospital. And, unfortunately, it seems the violence is rising.
What kind of violence?
I believe people have armed themselves and started to attack those that show signs of contagion.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the...
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You are wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
This city is more peaceful without the bombs, but no less dangerous.
Good evening, Milton.
Good.
I'd like to see your...
Wise choice, Doctor.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Please show me what you...
Of course.
Get them weapons ready! We found one! Hey, human! Kill it! Watch it! Mine!
Steady, boys, we've got one of them! You leeches need killing!
You again. What do you want?
Have you heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter?
He's been brutally murdered. And not by one of my boys.
Are you worried about the conditions in London?
I've heard rumours about some sort of militia patrolling, killing the sick. The wet boot boys are overrun.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby. Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reid.
Have you got any news about Sean Hampton's shelter?
The murderer is still unknown. All I know is that the wet boot boys have nothing to do with this.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
The bodies are piling up, but I'm not afraid. I'm still alive, and I intend to stay that way.
Goodbye, Miss Cox.
They'd be laughing at first.
Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Ah, you're that doctor.
Do you have any recent news of Sean Hampton's shelter?
I don't want to talk about it. Just hearing his name makes me want to empty another bottle.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
More contagion, more despair, more guns and more dead. More alcohol.
I should have offered a drink to the boy. Be he cursed or not, he's just another lost orphan.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
The epidemic, no one dares go out.
Welcome back, Doctor. What can
Do you need any... Indeed, it would be...
Oh, thank you, Dr. Reid.
Have you got any recent news on Sean Hampton's shelter?
Have you not heard? The sad saint has been murdered. Nothing is sacred anymore.
Are you concerned about the sanitary situation?
It may surprise you, but I'm not. I've heard about the men-at-arms and the fights between gangs at night, but that's nothing new.
I wish I shared your optimism.
It's not optimism. Gangs have been fighting in this part of town since before I was born. This war will stop when enough blood has been spilled.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Perhaps I should shut the turquoise for a time.
You still working at this hour? That's what I call dedication.
Have you heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter?
His death is proof there's no safe ground in this part of town. The streets live for violence.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation?
Of course I am. Everywhere's deserted, houses, streets all empty. People buying guns. We hear them go off every night. It's bloody frightening.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
You still working at this hour? That's what I call dedication.
Do you require medical assistance, Miss?
Don't feel so good if you have to know. I knew that keeping the bar open with the epidemic wasn't a good idea.
Take this, it'll help. Perhaps you should think about closing the Turquoise Turtle for a while.
Tom always said we got to keep the doors open. But thank you, Doctor.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Few clients.
I so love to gaze at the stars.
Evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reid.
Heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter lately?
Not since he bought it. Such a sad story.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation?
I never really felt safe in this town anyway. Now's the first time that everyone seems to feel the same way as me.
Is anything worrying you right now?
Gunshots? I hear them every night. Who's firing? Who are they shooting at? That's what's scary.
Rufus, tell me what you really think about Seymour Fishburne.
Seymour, he just scares me. A lot. Actually, he scares many people round here, even big fellows.
You mean his brutality is infamous, even in this shady part of town? That's impressive.
Yes, sir. How someone like that can be related to Mrs. Fishburne, well, it beggars belief.
The patience of a mother for her child knows no limits. None of us would be here otherwise.
You're right. And I certainly didn't mean any disrespect to the woman who takes such good care of me.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about...
A real doctor treats everyone the same.
I don't know what to say, thank you.
So long.
Am I really cursed? It explains so much.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Miss... Good...
Yeah.
Have you heard anything recently about Sean Hampton's shelter?
Death of the sad saint was only a matter of time. Surprised the wet boots let him live for so long anyway. Neutral ground my arse.
Aren't you worried about the conditions here in London?
I've heard armed men have started patrolling the city. Even killing the sick to stop the epidemic. Starting to like this city again.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Some call this the bad part of town. I've lived in worse.
Good evening, Miss...
Of course. I can't remember the last time I had a good... What can I do for you, Dr. Reid?
Do you have any news about Sean Hampton's shelter?
What a terrible story. Where is the hope? If even the good souls can be murdered like this.
Aren't you worried about the conditions around here?
Hate everywhere. The city will not sink because of this flu. It's the violence that will finish us all.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care.
What can I do?
Mrs. Fishburne.
I am afraid I am.
Then let me give...
I thank you for your generosity.
Goodbye, Miss...
Does grow eyes in the back of that.
Get them weapons ready! Over there! There's one of them vermin!
I can't pretend.
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reid, can I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
Have you heard any rumors regarding Sean Hampton's shelter?
I spent days observing the place, but the vampires still got him. Evil. It's everywhere, Dr. Reid.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
It seems the Guard of Priwen has declared war on vampires. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, though.
Really? I thought you'd be thrilled by this news.
The Guard can be reckless. They rush into a fight without thinking. The citizens of London should not be the collateral victims.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
Actually, I may. In my line of work, I have to stop at any sign of infection.
Treating a vampire hunter's wounds is certainly a first for me. I'm happy to help you, of course.
Thank you, Dr. Reid. Your support means a lot.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
So much noise. A vampire kills in the sights.
Good evening, Miss Gillingham.
Of course. So, Dr. Tippets, what brings you back here? We haven't talked in quite some time.
Have you heard anything recently concerning Sean Hampton's shelter?
I've never heard that name before, I'm afraid.
Are you worried about the sanitation crisis in London?
Too much noise, too much shouting. It keeps me up. Is it really gunfire I'm hearing?
Do you require medical attention, miss?
I'm glad you asked, Dr. Tippets. I must confess I haven't felt that well of late.
I'll try my best. Here, take this. And please, try to get some rest.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Goodbye, Miss Gilliam.
Glad to see you again, Mr. Reid.
Do you have recent news of Sean Hampton's shelter?
I can't believe that someone could be cruel enough to assassinate a saint. Maybe Giselle is right. Maybe this world is doomed.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
There are rumours of infected people turned mad by the fever and roaming the streets, attacking everyone they see. Is it true?
As long as you stay away from the streets, you should be all right.
I hope you're right, Dr. Reid. We feel kind of left alone around here.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Glad.
Do you need...
I can keep...
Of course you can, Miss...
Thank you, Doc.
Goodbye.
You again? What do you want?
Do you have recent news of Sean Hampton's shelter?
That place was a dump, and it still is. The only good news is we don't have to listen to the sad saint's prayers anymore now he's gone.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
Chaos is rising, Dr. Reid. This city is about to crumble.
You almost sound happy.
This world needs to die, Dr. Reid. And from the ashes, a new one will emerge, with more equity and freedom.
Do you need medical help, Miss...
I may, but I have no money for your scam.
I don't charge patients. My scam is much more subtle than that, Miss Paxton.
All right, then. Yeah, thank you, Doctor. But don't think I take you for an ally of the working class.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
A vampire kills in utter silence.
Good evening, Mr.
What?
Is it true Sean Hampton saved your life?
Yes. He even risked his own life to save my sorry ass. Now he's been murdered. And I still drink. Is life funny or what?
Were you thankful for what he did for you?
Sean Hampton really acted like a saint that day. But I suppose I'm just another lost soul who doesn't deserve to be saved.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Keeping things straight, these parts will be running completely amok.
It ain't human! Kill it! Ah! Don't like that, do ya? It's a leech! Kill it! Stupid beast!
For the earth is bleeding and the harvest is upon us.
Stay away! Whoever you are!
This is no time for petty quarrels, my champion. Can you not hear? The famished queen has awoken.
I am not your champion!
But of course you are, son. As surely as you are the blood of my blood.
I had to kill Mary!
I have known your pain, child. Do not succumb to...
Silence! I dismiss you, now!
The land calls for a champion. All and everyone needs you.
Silence! I'm tired of all these puppet shows.
It's locked, all right.
I'll send you to hell. They want war. I'll show them war.
Whatever this poor woman did, nobody deserves this kind of punishment.
This one's a top. I hate leeches. I'll take it! You're mine, Stupid new